It's AMA time. Yeah, we'll do a half hour Ask Me Anything. So let's rip through some stuff in here. Can we call him Stumpy? If they love it, it's like, no. You can call him Flat Tire. That doesn't look like Trump's nunt. I agree. It looks swollen. It looks like that guy's got thyroid problems. Whoever that was. His granddaughter was not in that photo. That girl was Kai's brunette. So they're just swapping people around. So she didn't even go. It's so odd. Okay, hold on. I'm going to open up the chat in a window that I can see fully so that I can... Just trying to read it off this side. Can we have a cat? Yes, I will. We'll see if one of the cats wants to jump in here and join me. You say the nut was legit? Do mics really smell? You mean like band bar mics can? Yeah. These days, everybody cleans everything. Post-COVID, man, everything smells like a fucking wet wipe or one of those alcohol wipes. Will Vance get rid of the tariffs? The Supreme Court's going to get rid of them. Oh, I did have one banked. You're right, CSL. That's okay. I don't mind. Red hat, green gold at the White House. Yeah, I would love to see Biden dance on screen. Well, how can we get a moment of cussing puppets? I'm going to put a video up with Matt fairly soon. So I'll do that. Thank you so much. They'll use Trump AI to keep away the awful. Well, that's the other thing, too, is that they're afraid of doing that because it'll get called out. Was that how I was working with Fall Out Boy in their music video? It was very nice. They went to my high school years after I graduated, and so it was kind of nice. I did that with my ex-girlfriend, Sam, and they reached out to her, and then they reached out to me, and it was, I don't know that they knew we were both together. It was hilarious. How's Trump skidding? I worry about it. Kai was in the dark blue at the golf thing. Right. What does your son want to do in the future? I'll leave that up to him. Whether he wants to talk about it. Well, don't most singers have their own mics? Not necessarily. Most singers don't. Most, you just use the back line that's there. Does Hegseth still have a job? Yes, but he's not doing it. Am I a pilot yet? Not yet. I'm going flying Thursday. Yeah. Nutrige, you have Doc Peterman. I did not. I'm in the Beat It Fall Out Boy video. Believe in Santa again. I never stop believing. How do you still look 30? Because a lot of 30-year-olds look terrible these days. House should have a gold mic all his own. Well, it's funny that you should bring that up. Hold that thought. I do. I have this gooseneck microphone with and mic stand that the mic runs out of the bottom of it so that the mic plugs straight into here into the gooseneck like this, and then the plug comes out of the base. And it just happens to be gold. That's so funny that you pointed that out. I use this one when I'm at home when I'm learning songs for the jam when I have to play and sing. Because it's a gooseneck on a stand. I'd lift it higher, but I'll knock that out. And then this is a pick holder, so you could place. You might see this instead of just duct taping picks to a stand, you can stick them in there like that, and then pull them out when you need them. So I have one of those little like stick bags next to it just in case I need it. Yeah. What happened to the cat cam? It was on the other computer, and I still haven't hooked it back up to here. Hal, you're an awesome dad. Thank you. I like to think so. It's impressively long. Well, it has to be, because you got to be able to crane it to where you are. And yeah, it works really well. Canadian Progressive, who does a weekly with Lev. It would be great, Canadian wing of Sparklers, to feel represented. Be good to have him on. I'd love to have him on. Dean Blundell, sure. Yes, lady cab driver. I couldn't remember what it was. Oh, lady cab driver. Do you have a home studio where you practice how? Sort of. So I have a studio set up here. Um, like my Logic, I have my guitar stuff all goes into this computer, and so I have a microphone over here that I use for real singing, and then I have this guy that's for live. I bought that for when Zero One does some stuff, and I needed to play and sing again, and I've had it for a while, so I hook it into my system, and I have a little like mini amp that I plug my guitar into, and then I run the mic into a speaker, and I basically use like put karaoke or a video on screen, or if I'm trying to learn a song, that kind of thing, I will play the tab or put the tab up on the screen as the song plays, so that I can rehearse to that. Chipper and Bucky, 5 minutes, please. Yes. Okay. I will run out and grab one. Yeah, I love that song, Lady Cab Driver. We had this punk singer, overweight, older gentleman, did his set in a jock and stored the mic in his butt cheeks when he's not singing. He did not bring his own mic. Oh, what a bastard. How very punk. Hal, is your new agents booking agents? You need wider exposure. Yes, they're acting agents, which is good. Oh, thanks, Roxanne. The Flapper show was excellent. I loved it. It was super fun. I did sing with Dennis DeYoung. Your opening scene in Extract is hilarious. Thanks. That was Nick and I got to improv a lot. Love what you have done with the all caps old timey bulletin board scroll on screen. Oh, thanks. I just felt like I needed something that was a little, outside the box, as it were. When is the Nerd Halen World Tour? I've been working on it. 9/3 Survivor speech at 10:30 Eastern time. Yeah, we'll all be watching. How do you think your son will get into acting? I don't know. I don't know. I don't put anything on him. He'll pick what he wants to do. How lots of openings it seems on SNL. I've thought about that. I gotta say, did I ever meet Prince? Yes, I did. He and I exchanged a nod in a Starbucks in Toronto. Have you seen Sign of the Times IMAX yet? No, we have tickets. We're going. Summer got tickets for it. Hal, have you ever been to Kentucky? You're kidding, right? I grew up there. I lived in Peaksville, Kentucky till I was 14 years old. I moved to Chicago when I was 14. Hal, out of everything, what is your favorite? I don't pick favorites because I don't have to. Always need funny people who can sing. That's true. How, when are you coming to Canada again? It's a great question. Are you and Carrot Top friends? I wouldn't call us friends. I've never really hung out with him socially. I've met him a couple of times. We're friendly. If that makes sense. But I've never I've never gone to dinner with him or anything like that. But like as comedians, like he's invited me to come see his show for free and that kind of stuff. He's very nice about it. So much thing. Am I more of an Autobot or a Thundercat? Absolutely a Thundercat. Ever checked out Tom Powell Jr. YouTube channel? I think you'd like his content. I'd like to see him guest on the show. Okay, that's great. Did Peaksville appreciate you? Not quite. I wouldn't say so. Do I have a Halloween costume this year? I didn't. But so my just so you know, I do the Flapper show is the last Friday of every month, and the last Friday of October lands on Halloween this year, which is my namesake holiday. So they were asking, do I want to do it on Halloween or do I want to do it the week before? And I was like back and forth about it. I was like, the hell with it. Let's just do it on Halloween, and I'll have a costume contest, and it'll be you'll win for the least amount of effort that still constitutes a costume. Now, what I would be able to perform in is the question. Right? That's the key. Like, I can only wear a costume so I might have made something like a Helldiver outfit because Camden likes that kind of stuff. But yeah, go as Ozzy. It's not a bad idea. That's a good one. How are you using a tanning bed? No. Um, we went. Summer and I went to Florida, and we were outdoors a lot. And yeah, I tan fairly well. Hal was a Sega kid. No, I had a ColecoVision, and then I had nothing. Have you ever met Kathy Griffin? Yes. Are you friends with Kathy Griffin? No. I mean, I'm like, again, I don't know what it is, but especially the alt comedy crowd, they just felt like another version of the cool kids at school when they were trying to push back against that. Like Beth Lapidus and Marin and Patton and Blaine Capatch and Kathy Griffin and Margaret Cho. They would all do like Largo and all that kind of stuff. And they, I I had a really good friend who was a performer regularly at Largo, Judy Toll, who was lovely. She passed away. She's always so good to me and such a sweetheart. She created Sex in the City, and they stole it from her. She made the movie Casual Sex with Leah Thompson and Andrew Dice Clay and Victoria Jackson, and that became that she they asked her to create a pilot for making it a TV show, and that became Sex in the City, and then they screwed her out of it, and it was fairly sad. So, anyways, lovely person. She gave me my job on Nightstand, where I played Father Chip, the rock and roll uh, um, priest. How does it get along with Patton? I don't. No, it's not that I don't get along with Patton. I don't know him at all. They back when I would go there, Patton and Blanca Patch were a pair. They were a comedy duo. So I never really saw them. I only saw Blaine alone. I never saw um, Patton alone. I don't know that I've ever had a meaningful conversation with any of them because, quite frankly, they kind of, I was just like this long haired friend of Judy's who did stand up, and who the fuck are you, right? I didn't go to Hollywood High. I didn't know that. Like, hold on one second. I might be able to grab Murphy. Hold on. Murphy, what's up, buddy? Oh, he's running away. Where are you going? Yes. Yes. They would love it if you would come and say hi. Yes. Murphy ran away, but but Bucky is always game. He was eating, so I interrupted his eating. Sorry, buddy. That's just rude. And now he's looking at the icons as they go up the screen. It's like, what is that? This is Bucky. This is my Bucky. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Mm-hmm. What's going on? Yeah, Bucky's lovely. Do you want to get down? Okay. I'm not gonna force you to stay up. You were in the middle of eating. I apologize, but he's always game. He's so easygoing. Right? What you doing? What's it doing? Nom nom nom. You gonna go back upstairs and eat? You weren't done, were you? He's like, no, 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 no. Dude, I was in mid dry food. Bucky needs his own series. This is true. He is great. He's a great cat. Um, did I ever? Sorry, this would. Did you ever watch Father Ted? A little bit of it. I never got into it. Do you have birthday plans? That's what Summer's been asking me. I like the 23rd. We've got the jam, so I kind of want to like. Part of me wants to have like a dinner at I don't know, the Rainbow or something down the street or something like that. that night or something. But I gotta say, like, I got so much stuff going on. It's all a swirl. It's hard to even look that far out. Yeah. He's just sitting right here. Are you just cleaning yourself up, buddy? What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here, you. Where are you going? Where are you going? Come here. Come here. Oh, he's just hanging around. He's just hanging around. Like a buddy. You are. You're just hanging around like a buddy. You are. You're such a good buddy. There you go. Yeah. What's that? You could bat the strand. No. Hi. Yeah. September 19th, International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Excellent. Yeah. Bucky needs his own YouTube channel. It's true. Chip's good. All right, there you go, buddy. Yeah. He's going to start batting things around on the floor. Chip's good. He's upstairs. Star Wars or Star Trek? Do you ever play Magic the Gathering? Never played Magic the Gathering. I love the ethic of Star Trek and the emotion of Star Wars. It's a shame that they never quite got it together. You could argue that Battlestar Galactica kind of fused those two. If I had to choose, I'd say Galaxy Quest. Hey, Hal, totally get it. Worked on my birthday. Yeah, it's and I don't know when I'm gonna like find out that I have work. It's always been a part of my life. Is like planning. This is one of the things I will say is a blessing of doing this show. This is the closest thing I've ever had to, as an actor or performer, sort of consistent work in that regard. Where you can tell. It's like knowing your season pickup. Like, I can always do this no matter what happens, which is very curious. That doesn't usually happen in the entertainment world. It was never a thing. That's why I'm so grateful for it. For real. But I still, act, and we still have, Nerd Halen shows and stuff like that. And we're trying to get that, like book more shows, and some of it can come up at the last second. And so my life is always like, it's always like I have a movie on pause. Like there's something like right over here that I might need to turn back on. It's just how it's always been. Just always has been. Hi, what are you doing? What's he doing? What are you doing? Come here. What is he doing? Where are you going? Come here. Okay, all right. He's going back upstairs. I had to shut the door because he's like batting every wire. So did Guy have the last have a last name? Yeah, he did. At the end of it, they show what his name is. Like when he's, let's see. Hold on. And it might not. It's one of those things where it looks like, Guy Fleegman was his name. They show like the hey picture at the end of it when Rock Ingersoll was his character that they gave him. He became the security chief, Rock Ingersoll, and but his name is Guy Fleegman. The show's a cat. I did. All right, yeah. Cold Comfort Farm is a great movie. Excellent. I heard it for something. How's your new agent? They've been great so far. Do you have eidetic memory? I have the next best thing. Have you ever had dogs as pets? Yes, I had a dog when I was a kid. He was put down for biting the mailman because he thought the guy was trying to attack me. And he may have been right. In retrospect, the more I think back on that time where the guy walked off the path and went over to touch me, like he touched my head while I was sitting in the yard, which was really odd. And my dog bit him for touching me on, like, trying to, like, Like these days, that's just sketchy as shit. So I was very upset about that, and we've had cats ever since. Yeah. Where do you rate Spinal Tap? I mean, the goat. Um, how do you have a booking agent or you do it yourself? For Nerd Halen, we have to do it ourselves. We almost had one, but Caleb nixed it. Because he's heard stories, and I've always been of the, especially in the entertainment industry, I've always been a big believer in 80% of something is better than 100% of nothing, and it's just how the system works. It's just how yeah. So, how's the only entertainer who longs for a 9 to 5? But I would do a 9 to 5 performing, which is kind of what this is, because I get to say stuff that's meaningful to me and talk about stuff that's meaningful to me, but I also get to be funny at the same time and do characters and voices, and that's when it gets really fun. Um, Bicycle Mike, welcome home. I hope you're. Well, I guess you're better than you were. So yeah, you're 4 orphaned mice at the moment. Are you in a prison cell in the movie Papillon? Does Nerd Halen cover Dancing in the Streets? Um, yes, we've done it. Did Caleb rebuild Al? No. How long do you think Trump has left? I'd say less than a year. Yeah. Honestly, like it's not looking good. Uh, I think you should try to do it all in a specific box. That's exactly right. I mean, back in the old days, in the 30s and 40s, an actor had to dance and sing and do stand up and comedy and talk on television and do radio and all these things. And it was just understood. You had to do all of it. And now everybody gets so hyper specialized, you can't even play characters you haven't played before. And I just think that's ridiculous. I didn't let Ficus out. He got out on his own. Dead by Halloween, that's the theory. Think already. Here's the thing. If it did happen, it happened this weekend. Yeah, because so many came from vaudeville. That's right, CSL. But the idea also was is that it showed you were a star, that you could dance, and if you could keep up with the specialty acts. So they would bring in a specialty tap dancer or something, and then the actors had to do the routine with them. It was incredible. And I gotta say, I'm a better dancer than Christopher Walken. I'm just gonna say it. How are the tap dancing lessons going? My mom gives them to me every time she's here for the summer. Will you be covering the Epstein Trump victims' testimony on Wednesday? Yes. Does Vegas have a POTUS Deadpool? I'm sure they do. I don't gamble because I chose a life in the theater and I did pretty well, so I've walked away from the tables with my earnings. I don't need to tease fate. Although I did buy lottery tickets for summer when I was driving back from LA last night in the middle of the night. Because there's this little store that everybody buys them at on the California border, where you can still buy California lottery tickets. And so I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And there's like a small line of people trying to buy them. Because I think it's tomorrow, I want to say. So a bunch of people come in and they try to buy them. They drive down and get them. Doing any plays yet? Not yet. That's something I've talked to them about, that I want to do a musical. I just don't know which. I mean, I would love to do Spamalot and I would love to do Rock of Ages. Obviously, that stuff is in my wheelhouse. I'm pretty certain I could do, pretty sure and certain, so certain. I'm pretty certain I could do Phantom of the Opera or those. Glengarry or Glen Ross, it'd be all right. Yeah. Final question, Sparks. How many inches? One more than I've ever needed. Want you to run for president? I am in 2028. Fear not. Jesus Christ Superstar. That'd be good. Yeah. I love that Corey Glover was in it. He played Judas in it, and he was fantastic. You should bring your show to Ireland. I've thought about that too, Maxwell. I've thought about the fact that, like, but for the cats, Summer and I, because we both are online right now in what we do, we could kind of do it anywhere. And so there might be a point where I take my rig and stay for like 2 weeks in, Europe or Ukraine or something like that, do the whole show from there as normal, but there, right, in that environment, right? So that's the thought. Have you ever written a sitcom? I've written like 3. I think it'd be great in a revival of The Music Man. Oh, okay. Are you going to see Wizard of Oz at the Sphere? At some point, I think so, yes. Yes, Summer got us tickets. Am I old enough to run for president? Of course I am. You have to be 35. I'll be 56 this month, ladies and gentlemen. Judas does have the best songs. That's right. That's why they picked him, because he's, Corey Glover. Can I just say, Corey Glover, the lead singer of In Living Color, is just Living Color. First of all, masterful voice. Also, fucking awesome guy. Just such a lovely human being. Just loving and sweet, and every experience I've ever had talking to him, hanging around with him, both at the Jam, and he's friends with Doug as well, and so we've met a few times. We've got to have real sit downs. It's funny. Like, I've never had dinner with Carrot Top, but I've actually broken bread with some fairly big rock stars, and it's pretty spectacular. My big goal, though, is that I want to have, like, I'm very jealous of Richard Marx having that long sit down with Paul Stanley, and I got to make that happen. Yeah. P.S. You just turned 55. Stop it. Sorry. Yeah. 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 Thank you, CSL. I'm free. Free. Well, Richard Marx is a lot more famous than you. That's debatable. Depends on who you're talking to. Yeah, I got a whole legion of Lab Rats fans out there, and you wouldn't believe how many of them there are. It's pretty spectacular, including a couple of Paul's kids. So, Corey Glover was in the Foxhole with Charlie Sheen in Platoon. Yes. Kiss going to do the Kennedy Center? Yes, I'm fine with it. I don't know if they're going to do it or whatever. I think it's going to, we'll see. We'll see if Trump's going to be alive to do it. Oh, that'll be weird, wouldn't it? Oh, Casey, thanks. See the new South Park episodes? I have. Nope, Hallie's way more famous. Yeah, but in what realm? Don't worry, we're good. That's the thing. We both do okay. We're both Chicago boys. I'm playing. The Richard Marx, by the way, is incredibly funny, really talented as a musician and a songwriter. He's one of those people where you're like, oh, he wrote that too? More famous than Kevin Sorbo. Kevin who? So rude. But yeah, when will I announce? I kind of already have. It's like a soft launch, but I'll officially do it in 27. Probably 26, late 26. Christopher Doc Hayes. Gene's politics are not Kiss's politics, for the record. My kid liked you in Attacking the Power of Juju. Thank you very much. I'm very proud of that. It's a good show. I almost ruined my speaking voice doing it because of all the screaming. We'd had to do entire screaming sessions so I could still do my lines as tack the rest of the time without wearing myself out. They might be giants and dead milkmen make me happy. Oh, good. Who's Devin Sorbet? Yeah, I don't know. You never watched Lab Rats? You feel so ashamed. You're not quite the demographic, Trucker John. Don't worry about it. Great with George Strait refusing his Kennedy Award. Yeah, I like. It's so weird that they think they're trying. They're trying to like steal your thunder and align themselves with it, and you feel like they're using your fame and your legend to borrow that valor. Is what it feels like Trump is trying to do. Richard Marx is amazing. He is. He's really funny. He's really funny. But Lab Rats is on Disney XD. If you have the Disney Plus channel, you can watch it there. I'm very proud of the work. It's very fun. Where we get the funding to run for president? I'm going to do it using an entire AI setup. It's not going to cost me anything. The only thing that will cost money is door knocking and getting my signatures. And I might be able to work around that. Did I play D&D? Do you still play D&D? I don't really have anybody to play D&D with except Jason Charles Miller. So the last time I played with him was before COVID. But he had a show and we did that. Yeah. Is Gloria Gaynor MAGA? I have no idea. That's hilarious. Not a Hal for my Joe. Not sure why the actress who played your wife wasn't in the opening credits. Angel, yeah. Because when they first signed her on, I don't think she was a regular, because it focused on the inventor and the kids fighting crime and stuff, and so we weren't spending as much time in the house. Eventually, she was. Yeah, Angel Parker, she's amazing. I adore her. She's a lovely human being. I was very lucky to be married to her on the show. So, I always get Lab Rats and Brain Candy mixed up. That's not bad. I love the movie Brain Candy. There's a few movies that are just like, that were hard to find for a while. Brain Candy's one of them. Now it's on Amazon, I think. It's terrific. And I saw the director's cut, the Kelly Macon director's cut. He used to direct shorts on, their non-audience, more filmic stuff that they did on Kids in the Hall. And he directed episodes of Queer as Folk. He was fantastic. I love Kelly Macon. And he directed the Kids in the Hall Brain Candy movie. And the original, I would love to see the director's cut released of that. It would be fantastic. Gloria Gaynor donated $1,000 to Republican campaigns in between 2023 and 25. According to federal election commission, including Win Red and Mike Johnson, Ben Carson, Josh Hawley, and Nick Page. Sounds like she's a Christian, extremist in that. Exposes MAGA donor after Trump taps her 4 days ago. The disco music legend donated $22,000 to right-wing candidates and conservative organizations. Well, the irony. How do you keep in touch with Gail, Scott, Randy, Robert, Peter, and Sharon? I keep in touch with Bobby, with Robert. I see the other ones, but I keep in touch with Robert. Bobby Gant. For those of you who don't know, Bobby Gant played my husband on Queer as Folk. And he's a wonderful human being. And I guess hold on. Yeah, Gloria Gaynor sang "I Will Survive," so probably the biggest gay anthem ever. Did you retire Ficus because you're woke as fuck? Why would he be? You don't think he's? I think Ficus is more woke than I am. Can you still watch Queer as Folk? You mean personally or online? It's on the Showtime app. I think it might even be available through a bunch of different sites. But yeah, you can find it. Do you enjoy the Rockford Files? I love the Rockford Files. I have Dr. Bosca was my that I got my flight certificate from. Hold on. I gotta sneeze real quick. Dr. Bosca, who was my doctor for my flight certificate, was James Garner's doctor. And when I went down there, they like when you have to get your flight certificate, all the guys at the flight school said, "Yeah, go down and see Dr. Bosca. He'll give you your certificate, but he'll chew your ear off. So just don't talk to him just because he'll blab about shit, and it'll be your whole day." And I went down there and I looked on the walls. There's all these pictures of him and James Garner, and I was like, what? This is. And he goes, yeah. Jimmy was a buddy of mine, and I was his doctor till the end, and it was just lovely. And we had I didn't want to leave. We had a great conversation, and occasionally in the Rockford Files, they'll mention Rocky, his dad, will mention Dr. Bosca. He's a real dude. Dr. Bosca's a real human being. They would mention James Garner's real doctor in real life as a doctor, and he's in Santa Monica. Do we know enough about Peter Thiel? I mean, we know that he's very fixated on whether or not he might be the Antichrist, so no. It won't matter, though. He's got his own fish to fry. There are a couple of those people that are going to eat themselves Elon Musk style, and Peter Thiel is one of them. This asshole is going to try to upload his brain, and it's not going to go well. If you like Rockford Files, you like Nichols, it's on YouTube. Excellent. Mariska Hargitay. Wasn't her mom Mae West? Something like that? Rockford was so meta. Well, that whole thing where at the beginning of The Simpsons, when Bart Simpson's writing something different on the board every time, the progenitor of that in a lot of ways was the fact that there was a different message on Rockford's machine every week. At the beginning, it would go, "This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message, and I'll get back to you." And beep, and there would be some like cute joke message. My favorite one was, "Jim, it's already your accountant. You were right. Your IRS refund check bounced." Jane Mansfield, thank you very much. I knew it was one of those. You guys all know it. Look at that. Bang. Yeah, just thinking of the answering machine. And that was a big deal, CSL. Remember? The huge thing about is that he had an answering machine. Like, oh, shit. The irony, and there was also a joke to it that I think you would miss in the modern era when we don't have answering machines and people just leave a message on your phone. But that he had an answering machine, which was fancy pants, but he lived in a trailer on the beach. Like, it was as if, like, he spent the money he would have had to on an apartment to get an answering machine. One of my favorite things is the scene where, in like side scenes in Mindhunter, is where the female psychologist, their partner, gets an answering machine because she doesn't want to take calls from her ex. Have I changed your mind about ending the war on drugs? I had deep CKI. I do some research. 2 to 3 people have died in the war on drugs, conservatively estimated. Yeah, Groove Dragon, that's like saying all the people who've died of overdoses since we've shifted our stance don't count as people. They were going to die anyways. You can't save everybody. The war on drugs wasn't lost. It was surrendered. And largely because, for the same reason we left Afghanistan, it's not ground worth saving. If people are going to get high and die of an overdose, there's been a policy amongst like a bunch of people, mostly in states, to just let them die. We caused ourselves way too much trouble fighting it off, trying to help them, getting them in rehab. It's passive eugenics. I think the war on drugs was a legit attempt, by and large, and it was bastardized by other people, but a legit attempt, by and large, to deal with the health impacts of illicit drugs killing people. And then they just decided, why are we trying to save these people? How do you dig the irony of your old bit about making up new words, and then you coined nunt. There's a difference between coining one and making up a word that is that's an ironic comedy word. Unsweetened is just a lie. See what I mean? That's not a thing. I would argue that that you can make up ironic, like acronym based things. That's fine. I went way over. It's okay. I love you guys. Cannabis on Schedule 1 was always a deadly mistake. I agree, it was a mistake. The majority of the kids in your DARE class did drugs with you. Well, DARE was set up as by Gates, whatever, the LAPD chief, the guy who was behind the Rodney King beating, as a way to get informants, turned basically high school kids into informants. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go and eat something because I drove back from LA last night, and I got in about 2 hours before the show. Had a nap this afternoon, and I got to rest my voice, or I'm not going to be able to speak the rest of the week. So should it be non-sweetened? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It should just be tea. You don't even have to say anything about it. There's tea and sweet tea. If you say tea, it's not sweet. It's tea. You don't need another word. God damn it. All right. Yes, I did stream on a holiday because I adore you guys, and I will see you later on tomorrow afternoon. And then, yes, I'll set up a thing where we can, it might mean being on earlier than usual on Wednesday for some of the stuff. So we'll figure that out. Yeah. That works for you guys. Okay. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else.